Let's get right into it. We are all living in a world that is completely obsessed with numbers, right? Followers, views, likes, the bigger, the better. But what if that huge number, that dream of 1 million followers, is basically just a mirage? Today, we are going to break down why the old rules of online influence are totally broken. And this quote from the publication Contagious, man, it just hits the nail on the head. We used to think of trends as these big, important cultural shifts. Now, we're talking about whatever core aesthetic is big for 5 minutes on TikTok. Something's definitely off. And that's really the billion-dollar question, isn't it? If the trends are meaningless and the numbers are hollow, why is the entire creator economy still locked in this exhausting, frantic race for the algorithm's attention? So let's really dig into this chase, what we're calling the myth of more. It's this idea that's built on a completely flawed understanding of what actually makes an impact online. So get this. According to Contagious, almost 2/3 of us feel like culture is on a treadmill that's just set to an impossible speed. And this crazy acceleration forces everyone, creators, brands, you name it, to jump on every single tiny trend just hoping to stay relevant for a second longer. It's a total recipe for exhaustion. And this is where things get really interesting. For years, we've been using the wrong formula to measure influence. We've been obsessed with this idea that force equals size, like views, times speed, like virality. But real, actual force isn't just about being big and fast. It's about weight, which is meaning, and momentum, which is staying power. The best way to think about it is this. We're mistaking a balloon for a bowling ball. A viral TikTok can get 1 billion views and look absolutely massive, but if there's no substance to it, it's just a balloon. It's full of air, and it's not going to make a real dent in anything. Those likes don't just magically translate into loyalty or actual impact. Okay, so what's the real-world cost of chasing these empty numbers? Because this flawed equation, it has very real and often pretty damaging consequences for creators and for all of us. Do you remember this? Coney 2012 became the fastest-growing viral video of all time. I mean, 100 million views in under a week? That is the absolute definition of algorithmic success. It was everywhere. But what did it actually do? Well, here's the thing. It ended up being the poster child for something called slacktivism. People felt like they were doing something important just by clicking share, but it created this huge gap between all that online noise and any real, tangible change on the ground. The views were massive, but the weight, the bowling ball, just wasn't there. And today, that disconnect is so much worse because we're dealing with this massive trust deficit. Our feeds are flooded with AI fakes and misinformation, and it's created this dangerous thing called the liar's dividend. Think about it. When fakes are everywhere, it becomes super easy for actual liars to just dismiss real, inconvenient videos as fakes. We start to doubt everything we see. And you know what all of this adds up to? A very real, very human crisis. When you're constantly chasing numbers in a system where nobody trusts anybody, you get burnout. Creators are trapped trying to please an algorithm, losing that genuine spark with their audience, and just feeling totally and completely drained. Okay, but it's not all doom and gloom. The good news is there's a huge counter-movement bubbling up. People are pushing back against all the performance, and they're demanding something real. So let's talk about this shift toward authenticity. At its heart, it's pretty simple. We're just tired. We're tired of the perfectly staged lifestyles, the flawless highlight reels, the endless performance. We're starving for connection, not another reason to compare ourselves. Social media was supposed to be social, you know? So, what does this actually look like? Well, a whole new set of rules is taking over. Gen Z is really leading this charge, demanding transparency. We're seeing more unedited photo dumps, fewer filters, and captions that sound like they were written by a real person, not a marketing team. It's a huge move from polish to personality. And this shift in mindset means influence isn't about showing some simple, perfect, straight line to success anymore. It's about showing the messy, complicated, unfiltered reality of the journey. That's where the real connection happens. So all of this move from perfection to authenticity, it leads us to our last and, honestly, most important point. We need to redefine what true influence even is. It's not about fleeting attention, it's about making a lasting impact. So a new kind of creator is stepping into the spotlight. The Future Laboratory calls them the expert influencer. These are the people who bring real substance to the table. They're not just selling you a dream lifestyle, they're sharing actual knowledge, wisdom, and a message that means something. They are informational, not just aspirational. So, how do you actually build that kind of legacy? Well, it's not about some big, dramatic move. It's about small, consistent, genuine actions that line up with what you truly believe in. It's sharing insights that actually help people and focusing on the mark you leave on them, not just the numbers you see on a screen. At the end of the day, it really boils down to this one simple idea. You need both. You can't make an impact if no one ever sees you. That's visibility. But that visibility means nothing if no one trusts you. That's credibility. Real, lasting influence happens right there, at the spot where those two things meet. So I'm going to leave you with this to chew on. In this crazy, endless fire hose of content where trends are born and die in a single day, what are you building that's actually going to last? What's the real weight, the real force behind what you choose to put out into the world?